Hello students, let us study the concept essentials of a valid contract or essential elements of a valid contract. This is an important topic in the first chapter. There will be a compulsory question either for 24 marks or for 12 marks. In addition to this, there is a case law that should be included in the 24 marks questions, or there will be a separate 6 marks question on case laws. The following are the essential elements. Number 1, offer and acceptance. 2, intention to create legal obligation. Point number 3, lawful consideration. Point number 4, competency or contractual capacity of parties. Point 5, free consent. Point 6, lawful object. Point 7, agreement not declared as void. Point 8, agreement must be certain. Point 9, possibility of performance. Point 10, legal formalities. Let us study these points one by one. Number 1, offer and acceptance. For an agreement, there must be a lawful offer by one and lawful acceptance of that offer from other party. The term lawful means the offer and acceptance must satisfy the requirements of Contract Act. Offer is the expression of willingness by one party with another party to do something, and acceptance is the consent given to that offer. There is an example have included. A say to B that he will send his cycle him for rupees 2000. This is an offer. If B accepts this offer, there is an acceptance. Point number 2, intention to create legal relationship. The parties to an agreement must create legal relationship. The agreement of social or domestic nature do not create legal relation and as such cannot give rise to a contract. It is presumed that in a commercial agreement that parties intended to create legal relationship. There is one case law related to this point, Balfour versus Balfour. In this case, Mr. and Mrs. Balfour were from Ceylon. They went to England to enjoy the holidays. When they were about to return to Ceylon, Mrs. Balfour fell ill and couldn't accompany Mr. Balfour. And Mr. Balfour asked her to stay back in England and promised to send £30 per month for her expenses. He sent the amount for some time. Later, because of the difference opinion, they got separated and he could not send the amount. Mrs. Balfour filed a suit against Mr. Balfour for specific performance. But it was held by the court that there was no valid agreement since the parties never intended to create legal relation between them. It was just an agreement related to social obligation. So this case law indicates that parties must create legal relationship in order to become a binding contract. Otherwise, the contract is not valid. Point number 3, lawful consideration. Consideration is something in return. It may be some benefit to party. Consideration has been defined as the price paid by one party for the promise of other. So consideration may be in cash, kind or service. For example, Mr. A repairs the mobile of B and B pay the amount. So consideration here in the form of service as well as in the form of cash. It is two-sided. It moves from one party to another party. Lawful consideration is one which is as per the law and which is not against the law. That means the consideration should not be one which is illegal, fraudulent or cause damage to the property or injury to the person. Point number 4. Capacity of parties or contractual capacity. That means ability to enter into agreement. According to section 11, in order to be competent to contract, a parties must be of the age of majority, of sound mind and must not be disqualified from contracting by any law to which they are subject. So there are three qualities mentioned here. They must be of age of majority, that is must attain 18 years of age, and must of a sound mind, that means must not be unsound minded, and must not be disqualified from contracting. They should not be disqualified person. For example, insolvent person, convict, the person who committed crime and sent to jail, or foreign ambassadors. So they are considered as disqualified persons. So these three qualities are required to be competent. That means they must attain age of majority, be of sound mind and must not be disqualified person. So there are two examples given. Number 1, M, a person of unsound mind, enters into agreement with S to sell his house for rupees 2 lakh. It is not a valid contract because M is not competent to enter into contract. Point number or example 2, A aged 20 promises to sell his car to B for rupees 3 lakh. It is a valid contract because A is competent. He completed the age of 18 years. He is eligible to enter into agreement. Point number 5, free consent. It is another essential of a valid contract. Consent means that parties must have agreed upon the same thing in the same sense. That means there should be identity of minds. There should not be any confusion regarding subject matter. Both parties must be very clear about the subject matter. So consent is said to be free when it is not caused by coercion, undue influence, fraud or misrepresentation. So these are the concepts studied in detail later, but let us know the brief meaning of this. Coercion is the physical threat or compulsion exercised by one party or another to get the consent for agreement. Undue influence is the superior power possessed by one person which is exercised over other party to get the consent for agreement. And fraud is intentionally giving wrong information about the subject matter or other information in order to induce the other party to enter into agreement. And misrepresentation is giving wrong information unintentionally to other party to make him enter into agreement. In all these cases, consent is not free. That means it is not given with the free will of parties. For example, Mr. A compels B to enter into contract on the point of pistol. It is not a valid contract as the consent B is not free. So consent given because of the coercion. So there should be free consent to enter into a valid agreement.